WSB Bank.
Thanks for having me on the show.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming in. You've been here before, so not nervous at all, right?
No,
all right.
It's great.
And I like connecting with you because when we talk about West Shore Bank, we talk about the relationship with the customer. We talk about the relationship between all of the employees and staff members. You're up to roughly how many employees throughout the network now?
We've got about 140 employees from between all of our offices, which range from Muskegon to Traverse City.
Absolutely, and you've been doing a little bit of traveling lately to those locations.
I was at Muskegon earlier this week, and Traverse City as well, and then bulk of my time right here in Ludington, though.
Yeah, and those growing locations in TC and Muskegon and other areas. Do you try to look at the principles of what has been West Shore Bank for 125 years now?
Exactly. Yeah.
Is that what you instill in those areas too? What's that like when you talk to the employees?
I'm glad you asked that. We spend a lot of time searching for people that obviously have banking experience, but they're from the communities that we're trying to serve. Okay. That's the recipe that works here. Is hiring local people, making local decisions. We do the same thing in Traverse City. Everybody that we hired in Traverse City is from Traverse City. Same thing in Muskegon. So it works very well for us.
Absolutely. And recently, you were nominated for the Chamber Alliance of Mason County Business of the Year here locally, and we're able to hear West Shore Bank received that. And how do you feel about that?
It's. First off, we're flattered. We always appreciate anybody appreciates being recognized, but it's that whole evening. I saw Brandy Henderson yesterday, and we chatted briefly. But it's a celebration, really, of the entire county on that night, and you get to see what everyone's doing and how everyone's giving back. I mean, we obviously heard from Pat Patterson, Hungry Howie's, and the difference he's been able to make in the community, and same and. Brandy did a wonderful job introducing everybody and kind of framing it, what Ludington Bay is doing, and certainly what we do in the community. It's just a really fun and wonderful evening.
Yeah, absolutely, and to be recognized that it doesn't just affect the top. It affects when we look at the employees behind the counter and those that are working in the mortgage department and the loan department and such. What happens after an event like that when you sit down and talk with them or you're passing through the halls?
It's funny you ask that or you say that because this morning when I was in the office already before coming here, I ran into a couple of people in the stairwell and they're all chatting about it, and they feel good. It's about recognition. It's about the team. I mean, I know it sounds corny, but it's all those people making a difference and all the things that we do in the community. There's giving dollars, but then there's a lot of people spending an awful lot of time, things that motivate them, motivate the bank. And we try to make a difference. Yeah. And that takes everybody to do that.
Which is part of your slogan.
Right? It is, totally. It absolutely is.
If you don't mind, let me kind of go down that angle because it's not where, and when we look at like a major market of Grand Rapids, Detroit, Chicago, so on and so forth, it's very difficult for the credit unions, the banks, the financial institutions to be a fabric of that community, right? Because there's so many things happening and you're so consumed and I think so busy in some sense. How do you balance? How are you able to say, not just Rhythm and Dunes, but also other events and how we can be connected to the community? How do you do that in this area?
It is certainly easier in a community like ours to make a difference. But you've got to prioritize. There's things that we've been doing for years that we continue to do. We've been donating to West Shore Community College, and we did scholarships this year in our 125th. So we did scholarships not only for that, but we also do some every year, to the college. The Spirit of Giving campaign that we're doing, which we're going to make some changes this year to try to reinvigorate that a little more, which is really providing holiday meals. Yeah. It's harder in larger communities. I mean, obviously it's difficult, let's say in Traverse City or Muskegon, to make that same difference. Yeah. And there's two things that motivate us. We want our customers to feel valued, and that means employees, customers, everybody in the community, and then trying to make a difference. And you try to marry those two together, and that motivates us all the time. It's a challenge, though, to kind of to stay relevant and continue to find new things to support. And you have to really be close to the community. That I think is the most important thing. We got a great board of directors. We talk a lot about what needs support in the community at that particular moment or that year, or over the last 2 or 3 years. I mean, certainly it's been some housing has been an issue, and so we're trying to find ways to support that and do some different things.
How important? And by the way, if you're just joining us, you can watch this segment on our Facebook pages on Hot Country Hits 99.9 and 102.7 Mom FM. We're streaming this on our YouTube channel as well over the air and your smart devices. Talking with Ray Biggs, President of West Shore Bank this morning. If you don't mind, what do you think the role of West Shore Bank or even credit unions, banks, financial institutions in general this day and age? We've gone through COVID. We've gone, we talk about housing and costs and so on and so forth. You received this award from the Chamber Alliance of Mason County because of what you are doing. So obviously you're a leader in the community. How do you lead it these days with all of these factors coming in?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's hard for larger banks to do that. There's no question. I mean, they have difficulty making a difference. They lack the number of employees that we have. So being headquartered here makes it easier for us. We have a number of employees that are very connected to the community, and we're finding ways to serve oftentimes through things our employees bring to us. Hey, this is important. I'm working in the Scottville branch, and this is something that Mason County Central wants to do, or Mason County Eastern. Those schools, which we do a lot within the school system. And it's an ongoing challenge. There's no doubt. But I do think a community bank can always make a difference. We're anchored to the community. We're not lending in Wisconsin, and we're not lending in Illinois or Detroit for that matter. We're doing our business right here, and we can only succeed if our community succeeds. There's no question. If you're in a community that isn't doing well or having difficulty, it's very hard for banks to prosper. So we've got a great community, great county overall. I mean, we're covering Manistee certainly as well, and Oceana and Benzie, and all these communities along the lakeshore, and they've all been pretty healthy.
Absolutely. Two-part question, and we appreciate you coming in and talking about this award, obviously Business of the Year from the Chamber Alliance of Mason County, but two-part question. The first is, from your level, from the president's standpoint of West Shore Bank, what do you think the best highlight, the best moment of the year for you is? And the second part is, what do you think it is for your employees when you talk to them?
That's I think it's definitely the concerts that we do, the Rhythm and Dunes concerts. That has really made such a difference in those 2 weekends. Usually later July, early August. It's a time where we're having fun. We see the community having fun. We've got people that make their vacations around coming to those concerts, and those from outside of town coming here to spend money and help the community overall, keep hotels and restaurants full. And that's a lot of fun for us. It's a lot of hard work because we do the whole thing. It's Margaret Carney works very hard on that, and she's it's a labor of love. But I think that that raising money for the high school music programs, band programs in particular, is fun to see. It's fun to see the community come out because it's really the community money.
Yeah,
we're doing some things. We're creating a nice platform, but it's the community that comes out and gives to that. So it's a great feel good event. We've had good weather, knock on wood, for years and years. And there's a lot of other things we do that are different. Usually we're donating for Cove's annual fundraiser, and we're helping staff that and do things. That's always a great event for us as well. That's smaller in venue and size, but it has a large impact.
Absolutely. Same sort of idea. Does that extend to the employees? Do you find that they love Rhythm and Dunes and that interaction? Although you brought up something I think that's very important that we don't want to miss is that the feedback that you get from your staff members on things that they're involved in the community, that must be rewarding for each individual employee when you say, hey, let's get behind that, right?
Yeah, our employees are engaged in United Way and all those activities, and Suds on the Shore. We've got people doing the Empty Bowls event that just took place. We've got folks on the board of all those entities and a part of that, and then we're finding a way to continue to support not only our employees in their effort to be active in that particular nonprofit or charity, but how does the bank help? And so it's really, it's really all about what our people are doing in the community. And sometimes we lose track of it because we're so engaged. I mean, it's like I didn't know Tina Fries was doing that, or she was engaged in that, or I forgot Christine Lamb was on United Way and part of Suds on the Shore. But we're trying to sponsor those events, make a difference, give back to the community that gives to us. There's no question about it. We can only be as successful as them.
And it sounds like it's not just from a financial standpoint either. It's from a teamwork effort, labor, and so on and so forth. Yeah, it's good.
A lot of hours.
Your speech at the Lake House. How do you feel about that? Any details that you would share with the community about that speech?
It's I mentioned that it's really about the team. It's not about the bank so much as it's all the folks that work at the bank making a difference. We've got people that give all day, every day, and it's we spend a lot of time there. I mean, I even forgot to thank Jeremy Holmes and Margaret Carney, so I'm gonna amend that right now. I thanked everybody to staff, but they helped me put the list together who was president, and then they forgot to put their names on it. But of course, I should have remembered that. But it's about that celebration of community. Number one, that event, and in particular, the recognition of all of our team effort. We have a lot of people that give a lot of their time, and I think that is what we're most proud of, is that gets recognized. Absolutely.
Final question for you before we wrap up. Future of West Shore Bank. What can we look forward to?
We've got a lot of runway ahead of us. The economy it's got some challenges right now. We're strong, which is great. We continue to be able to serve the communities in which, where we're in. I think that we've got a great future ahead of us as remaining an independent community bank, and certainly locally owned. We've got our shareholders are local. Our customers are local, and the folks that work here, that work at the bank are all local. And I think we've got a great future ahead of us serving the communities, and and we're excited about that.
Absolutely. Ray Biggs, did we forget to mention anything this morning that you want the community to know about?
I'm having a hard time coming up with anything.
Okay.
Just we're appreciative of the recognition, and I know the staff is. They're very proud, and I'm proud of our staff too for all of this. And thanks for having me on the show.
Absolutely. No, thanks for being here, and congratulations on the award, Business of the Year from the Chamber Alliance of Mason County, West Shore Bank, and congratulations to all the staff. At least when I stop in and able to interact with the employees, they're always friendly, they're always energetic. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. Ray Biggs, President, West Shore Bank, joining us this morning. It is 8:36 now on Hot Country Hits 99.9 and 102.